feel like detached from your body, like you're an NPC in your own life. Yeah. Anyways, hi guys, my name is Tumai and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to be talking about daddy issues and how that affects our relationship with God, or how people with daddy issues tend to struggle building their relationship with God. Please note that daddy issues is a modern term, and that in psychology they actually use the term father complex, obviously because the issue and how it affects someone is very complex. So even in this video I might not cover everything, and I believe that even if you have daddy issues, your own experience might be different. This also means that it's not something that affects women only, because I know when we talk about daddy issues, we only think about how it affects women, but daddy issues are also something that affects men as well. Men are also affected by absent or neglectful fathers. Daddy issues are the psychological effects of a strained or absent father figure relationship on a person's mental health and relationships. Daddy issues make one develop a feeling of unimportance and a lack of self-acceptance. The individual will therefore have a fear of abandonment, a fear of rejection, and a general fear of their partner leaving. You find yourself seeking to want to constantly prove yourself to people. You seek to prove that you are worth keeping around. So whenever you have a relationship or a friendship that fails, you don't see it as something that, oh, maybe this friendship or relationship failed because we just don't have anything in common anymore, and this and this happened. You don't see it for what it really is, but you see it as people leaving you because they don't think that you are worth keeping around. Like you don't have any value, and not just to them, but in general. I know for me, I would tend to go out of my own way to prove to people that I am worth keeping around. When it came to friendships, even if it was something that would inconvenience me, if someone would ask me to do something for them or to get something for them, I did not care if it would inconvenience me, if I didn't even have the money. For me, these were opportunities to prove to people that I am worth keeping around. In relationships, I would go above and beyond just to prove my worth to this person, just so that they wouldn't leave. And in most cases, that has injured me more than it accomplishing what I wanted it to accomplish. At an early age, our parents, and in this case our fathers, give us a portrait of our true identity. By them reinforcing this true identity, we can then use it to stand against false perceptions and false ideas and false statements that other people may use against us. For example, if you were grown up being told, oh, you were so caring, you're so loving, you're so nice by your parents, you end up wanting to continuously achieve these attributes that they see in you and that they are reflecting in you. If you were told, oh my gosh, you are such a problem child, I can't stand you, you never get anything right, you're such a failure. So now when you come across ill-intentioned people and they tell you, oh my gosh, you're such a failure, you don't have anything inside you to stand against that. All you have is the behavior of your indifferent father affirming that. Remember, this is not just about fathers who were physically absent, but also fathers who were emotionally absent as well. So far, we have established that emotionally absent fathers can cause their children to feel unimportant and insecure. Something interesting that I've also learned is that emotionally absent fathers can promote riskier sexual behavior in women. I don't know if this is true for men, but if it is true or if it's not true, if it has a different effect, please let me know in the comments. It is nothing to be ashamed of. I am still learning to forgive myself, and learning about all of this and becoming more self-aware has definitely helped. Parental wounds cut deep. Childhood trauma cuts deep, and it is nothing to be ashamed of. A lot of people I have known, a lot of my friends, they are some of the most normal people I have come across. And when I say normal, I mean they don't have any parental trauma. They don't have any of this trauma haunting them. They don't have any of these wounds. It doesn't mean that they don't have their own wounds, but they don't have these particular wounds. It has made me want to hide away from my own friends because I feel embarrassed of all the wounds that I have. And I am using the word wound intentionally as opposed to scar because this is something that hasn't healed yet. It's still something that throbs and something that still hurts. Do not rush your healing just because you don't want people to see how wounded you are or in what ways you have been hurt, or because you feel like they're going to run away when they see how you've been hurt. There is a study that suggests that people with father wounds have a much more difficult time with religions such as Christianity, Islam, Judaism. So when you hear of Yahweh, a God who is said to be a perfect father, a part of us won't allow ourselves to be fooled that he is that good of a father. But maybe if we try hard enough to prove ourselves to him, then maybe he can be that kind of a father to us. The child who was severely punished for making a mistake that they did not intend to make comes up. So when I do something that I know that God wouldn't approve of, I feel shunned out of his court of love. I punish myself as a form of penance. I know the verse that says his mercies are new every morning, but I don't feel like it pertains to me or it's relevant to me. I feel 9 again, like people who make a mistake are not worthy of love until they have proven themselves to be perfect. Even though 1 Corinthians 13 verse 5 says love makes no record of being wronged, it doesn't connect to me. It doesn't connect to the child inside of me because that is not how I grew up seeing love or seeing a father. We do not talk to God about the small things or as often as we should because we feel that he doesn't have that time for us, and the very, very little time that he's gonna turn his head in our direction shouldn't be spent in talking about how the cashier upset us, or how about we're thinking about this one guy, or about how we're so upset about what our siblings did and what that's doing to us on the inside. We feel like we should only come to him about the big things, about world peace and about diseases and changing the world, when a good father cares about those small things. God cares about those small things. If there is something that happened today that is eating you up inside, he cares about what that's doing to you, and he cares that you were talking to him about it. We forget that he says he has engraved our names into the palm of his hand. We struggle to believe some of his promises. We don't hear, for I have chosen you, I will not throw you away. I will hold you up with my righteous right hand. All we hear are empty promises, and therefore we do not let God carry us the way he wants to carry us. We make sure we always have a safety jacket or a parachute or a life jacket. We just have something to fall on just in case we get let down, because we have been let down before by father figures, and we do not want to put ourselves in a position where we're let down again. So how do we go from a wound to a scar, or a throbbing wound to a slightly less throbbing wound? Firstly, let go of your idea of your perfect dad. And when I say your perfect dad, I mean your perfect earthly father. Accept him for his flaws. Yes, it's not an excuse for what he did. It's not an excuse for what he did not do. It's not an excuse, but you are letting it go. You are acknowledging that you didn't get it, and it's okay. But you letting it go is the first step to healing. It's the first step to closing this wound. Having high expectations of our mothers and our fathers, and I would like to do a video on how mommy issues affect our relationship with God. We need to let go of this idea of perfect mothers and perfect fathers. They failed, they may have failed, yes, and I know it's hurting, I know it hurts. I know how bad you wanted your dad to be there for you. I know how much you think of what your life would have been like if maybe he was a good dad, if maybe he showed up when he said he was going to show up, if maybe he told you he loved you, if maybe he called more often and visited more often, if maybe you even knew him. But if we keep revisiting these ideas, we're just adding glass and sand to these wounds. So you need to let it go, babes. Secondly, see a psychotherapist about it. See a therapist, a psychologist. Seek professional help. Just talking about it with a professional helps you get your feelings out there, and you can have your feelings be heard. You can have your thoughts about the situation, about what they did, about how they treated you, about how it's affected you. You can be heard in these situations. They will be able to study you and see you the way that you weren't seen as a child, and they can help you move past those wounds, move past those scars. It doesn't fill in the gap, but it definitely helps with your healing. It is nothing to be ashamed of. You are not shaming your parents. Please, this is not a video to shame fathers. It's not a video to shame mothers. This is just to create self-awareness, because hearing about someone else who has dealt with those issues also helps you, and it makes you feel seen that this is not something that's only unique to me. Seeing a psychotherapist is an attempt to just comb through your mess. It is nothing to be ashamed of, and you don't have to lie in that space. You are not paying this person to lie. Something we don't talk about, everyone keeps saying, oh, mental health, mental health, but mental health is expensive, okay? Taking care of your mental health is expensive. And so if you are putting in the money, if you are investing in your mental health, please don't lie. Thirdly, begin to learn about God as a father and not a spiritual deity. I got to learn about God as a father through reading Psalms 27. He is not someone that we are just trying to bow to at 7 different times of the day, who is just seeking unreasonable loyalty. He is not someone who is trying to hustle us out of our money. Begin to step out of religion. Begin to step out of, oh, I go to church every Sunday because that's what we do as Christians. Begin to step out of, oh, we fast at the beginning of the year for 12 days, for 21 days, because that's what we do as Christians. Begin to step out of, oh, I go for Easter services because that's what we do as Christians. And begin to establish a real relationship with God and see Him as your Father. Psalms 27 says, even if my mother and father abandon me, the Lord will hold me close. And the 4th tip I can give you is, do not rush to fix yourself. I repeat, do not rush to fix yourself. These things, these problems, these issues, they came over a span of years, probably throughout your whole childhood, and probably even partly through your adulthood as well. Because if you try to rush your healing, one random Sunday evening when you're alone, you're just gonna start sobbing for no reason, and you're not gonna understand why. So take your time, and it is very easy to feel like the people around you are getting tired of you dealing with your daddy issues, or dealing with your mommy issues, dealing with your problems. If they cannot understand the time you are taking to heal, if they cannot understand why it is taking you this long, if they cannot understand why it is so important for you to heal, then trust me, they are not worth keeping around. And your abandonment issues might be coming in, your fear of abandonment might be coming in, and you just want to keep the few people that you have around you as close as possible. But if they cannot see why this is so important to you, they are not worth keeping around. So these are the tips that I have for you. These are the lessons that I've learned, and this was me wearing my heart out on my sleeve. I think this is a very deep topic, and because I'm not too experienced in this YouTube thing and too experienced even in my own issues, I might not be able to convey my feelings or my thoughts as clearly as I want to, but I really hope this video helped you, and I really hope you learned something about yourself, and I really hope you give yourself a break. I really hope you give yourself a break and you give yourself the love and the patience you deserve. If you like this video, please like the video, and if you like my content or you have a feeling you're gonna like my content, please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys next time.